I want to talk to y'all about the wants and the needs of prepping. Most of you have complained before as, oh my God, all the prepping and YouTube is, showing equipment and, when the end comes, skills is more valuable than anything else. I agree with you. Skills are a lot more valuable than anything else. However, I also want to, acknowledge that without resources, the skills can only take us so far. So I want to talk to y'all about that, the wants and the needs, because there's always this idea of, I need a new knife, I need a new gun, I need a new backpack, I need a new this. But do you need it, is the question. You see, old folks know this better than anybody. Probably your parents or your grandparents even better. They had the same knife for 30 to 40 years, if not longer. Probably your dad's knife is the same one that your grandfather was using. And now you look at yourself and you're like, oh my God, how can they live that way? I have over 50 knives, and every time that I'm going to use one, I go through 30 minutes of hardship because I don't know which one I'm going to use. Well, modern society has given us a lot of options, and with a lot of options, you come across a lot of reviews and, a lot of mine is the one that works. If you don't get mine, you will die. Right? Have you not seen that before? Well, let me touch on something. Let me touch on this, for example. How about electricity? Can you live without electricity? You most absolutely, most surely can live as yes, you can live without electricity. Is it harder? 100%. 100% is harder to live without electricity. Now, of course, you're going to have somebody, an oddball, saying, no, it's a lot more comfortable living without electricity. I think it is more peaceful because you don't depend on it and then therefore you don't worry about it. But comfortable, that's a different story. It's a lot more comfortable washing your clothes in a washing machine than doing it by hand. A lot more comfortable. It's a lot more comfortable having, let's say, for example, us, having the Opus connected in our main heater during winter. So if the power goes out, I don't worry about, the alarm, because I have alarms in the house. When the power goes out, it beeps. But do I have to worry of, oh my God, I got to run and make sure to put more wood in the wood stove? No. It makes my life easier. Can I live without it? Absolutely. I can just have a wood stove and that is it. Is it harder? Well, let me put it like this. The older that you get, the harder things become. You see what I'm saying? When I was in my 20s, I used to run, uphill without a problem. My 30s was a little bit more difficult. In my 40s, I looked at the hill and I say, you are beautiful. Lass, turn on the ATV, baby. We're going up the hill. And it's the truth. Now, I can come here and lie to y'all and be like, no, I do it. I'm a martial man and I do. It's not the reality, y'all. So, when it comes to that, keep that in mind. Age, the older you get, the more comforts that you want. Or am I incorrect? Let's touch on firearms. Firearm is a topic that a lot of people, always get into debate. Oh, this gun is better than the other one. And if you don't have this, oh my God, you are the devil. I don't know how many times I come across the comment of, if you don't own a Glock, what the hell are you doing? If you don't have an AR-15, what the hell? Those are the two guns you need. A Glock 19 and an AR-15. Well, it depends. It truly does depend. Is that what you want, or is that what you need? You see what I'm saying? You have to balance all of these things. Take, for example, an AR-15 is a great platform. In my case, I went a different route because I live in Alaska. I was like, you know what? And guys, I have hunted with AR-15s, and I hunted here with AR-10s. So, not to bash anything. I'm just giving you the wants and the needs. I want them. I didn't need them. I want them. And I'm honest about it. I didn't need an Opus. I want it. Therefore, I got it. You see what I'm saying? So, first of all, we have to be honest. There are things that we want and there are things that we need. For Alaska, I use mainly 3 calibers. 30-30, 30-06, and 308. I'm going to put right here the prices of each one of them. This is, local store and whatnot. So you guys can have an idea. Based on that, I can tell you that, the 308 may be the one a little higher, about $2 higher. The other ones are $29.99, and the 308 is $32.99. I try to have the same brand and everything so you guys can, relate. In your area, most likely, is a lot cheaper. I went with that because they're just bigger calibers, and they are the firearms that I own. Well, not recently, but I think it was last year, the year before, I went and I got myself a Henry. I want to say something about Marlin, that's why I said Marlin. A Henry 30-30 sight with the sight gate and whatnot. I plan to have it iron sight, but as you guys can see, as we all get older, our vision goes off the window. So I did put a scope on it, put a Leopold, because I wanted it. I didn't need it. I could have got something different. Could have got a cheaper scope and whatnot, but I wanted to have a nice glass. So I put that in there. For those of you who own Henry, and if you want to put a scope on it, you need to have the little base, right? The base of the Marlin 336 fit. That's why I mentioned Marlin before. So if you are inclined to get this one, I highly recommend it. It's a very sweet rifle. Also, the rings, make sure that you get the medium ones. That way you don't have to put a hammer extension. Your finger can go into that hammer perfectly fine. If you remember, for hammer extensions, you have the Winchester 94, it's square hammer, and this one's the Marlin, and this one have a different hammer. So the hammer extensions are a gigantic pain to find. But if you get the medium size rings, not the tall ones, not the low ones, just the medium size, you'll be perfectly fine. So I went with the 30-30. I also go with the 30-06. And of course, you guys have seen me talk about the 308 all the time. Now, why I'm saying all of this is because I could have just gone with one, but I want them. I want the 30-06. In fact, I could have stayed with the 30-06 and that's it. I want this one too. I fancy lever actions. I really do fancy lever actions. Here's the thing, for the 22s, I don't know how many good things I can say about a 10-22, a takedown. That is, my son had been using that over and over and over, and yesterday it marked the 3,000 rounds that little rifle shot with this ammo. So I am now telling you that this ammo is good. It works really, really good. In fact, I don't remember having a misfire at all with this ammo. Do with it what you will. I gonna say this too. I think that I like it better. Me personally, Laz doesn't care. But me personally, I like running it better in a lever action. And if you guys remember, I am a very big fan of having a dual loadout, a 30 caliber and a 22. Now, I'm saying all of this, because I just want to have a conversation with y'all, and I want to address a couple of things as we have a conversation in regards to the wants and the needs when it comes to prepping. Did I need so many guns? No, I did not. Well, I don't, but I want them. You see, I invest my money elsewhere. Some people, we all have our preference. You see, I don't want to drink. I don't like drinking. I like this. So, it's just a thought. For example, I did not need this knife, the Gerber, and I purchased it because it was on special. I put it out of my bag because, quite frankly, after being there for a few months and me not being able to taste it, or me not testing it, and I put it out because I was like, you know what, it's just extra weight, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep it in there, to test it. But time went by and I didn't. You know what I use? The other one, the other knife that I changed the blade. This I use. So I was like, I didn't need it. I got it because it was a good price, but I didn't need it. I mean, literally, I'm telling y'all, it's still brand new. I did not touch it at all. I put it there and I said I'm gonna review it. I didn't touch it at all. I might review it. I might test it out sometime, but right now, weight is a big issue for me. And it comes to that when I decide things that I need. Let me touch on sidearms. What I need here in Alaska is something with a big punch. Or imagine yourself in a situation where you have an animal coming to you, and that animal may do you some harm. Or imagine yourself in a situation where an animal gets spooked and it attacks you. That happens quite a bit here when it comes to moose. In fact, last night we had a mama moose, just walking on our driveway with a baby moose. So imagine me coming out of the prepper shed and spooking mama moose, and mama moose attacks me. I need to defend myself somehow because they're big animals. However, on the same token, I mentioned to you all that I have back injuries and I suffer from back pain pretty much every single day. So having something on my side needs to be light, because I have to painfully admit that every time that I carry something that is a little on the heavy side, it hurts me. I'm a big fan of having my 1911 on me. I carry the Glock 10mm for a while. I carry the GP 100 on the side. Every time that I do it, I suffer. So the majority of time, what I do is I just put it to the side, and I get my 38 special, my lightweight, my little fight shot revolver that weighs absolutely nothing, and it helps me. It helps me because it doesn't weigh much. The contour is fairly good in my back, and I'm armed. So I'm being honest with y'all. So even though that I have really good holsters for the other ones, for the GP 100 whatnot, I'd rather not have it in my head because it really does hurt me. So what I do with that is I carry, in the outside in the wilderness and whatnot when I go hunting, a chest rig. It goes like this, and this is made here in Alaska, made in Wasilla actually. So do I wanted this? No, I didn't want this. I like carrying it on my side, but I need it. You see what I'm saying? Now it becomes that like, well, what works for you and what doesn't work for you, because that's something that we fail to see a lot of times. We fail to understand that we all live in different areas. Therefore, our location is going to dictate what we need. What we want is pretty much everything. Let's be honest. If you can have a room full of guns, would you not have it? Answer me, please. Let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you agree with me having a room full of guns. Now, but just to give you a thought, and that's just to mention, defensive tools. How about other tools? I got into an argument with somebody here in regards to the Thermacell, and I said Thermacell does work. Now, can I toss away Thermacell and just use a head net? Yes, absolutely. Can I just roll my sleeves and just have long sleeve and that's it? Yes, absolutely. Do I want to do that? Well, I like the Thermacell, and that's why I use it. Now, I always get the complaints of it's too expensive to run, the fumes, and what is the other one? It really doesn't work that well. Let me address that. Yes, you do pay for the little mats. You do not have to buy the little butane tanks all the time. You can refill them. In fact, those right here, let me grab one. You're gonna see a little mark. That's because they're refilled already. Let me explain how you do this. You remove the O-ring. Remove it first carefully. You get a plier and try to put tape on the tip of the plier. That way you don't damage this part right here. You grab it and you pull it. Inside there is a plug. Get a screw, put it in there, 1 and maybe and a half. Pull it out. Once you do that, you put that plug out, you can toss that away. You can toss that little plug away. A little bit of glue you're gonna put on this little shiny thing. You're gonna put it around it. You're gonna center it. You're gonna put this in a flat surface, just like that, and you're gonna smack it. You will hear, just going in. Let it be there the entire night until the glue cures. Put the O-ring and refill it, and let it rest in there the entire night. The reason why I mark it is because that's where, up to the point that I fill it up. If there's any leakage or whatever, the next day you will see. I have only have 2, if my memory serves me right, that I didn't do it right. What I did, well, there was the disposable to begin with. I'll toss them away. That's it. The rest of them, I use it over and over and over. All I do is just buy one of these canisters, and that is it. Do I need the Thermacell? I do not. I can definitely do the head net. I can definitely do the long sleeves. I wear long sleeves all the time, by the way. All the time. But I want it because it makes my life easier. The fumes, they really don't bother me. I don't like putting bug spray on me. I just don't like it, have it in my clothes. I don't have it. Don't like having it in my skin. I just don't like it. It's a preference thing. So that hopefully that addresses the whole Thermacell thing. Some people say they don't work. To me, and I maybe I should have said that during that time. To me, it has worked. I've been hunting in the Everglades in Florida, here in Alaska. Is it magic that they all disappear? No, nothing is magic. But to me, it has worked. Maybe for you, it's different. But is that a want or is that a need? We can make the argument for both, but I think it's more as a want than not a need. Now, let's say communication. Do you need to communicate with your loved ones 24/7? Do you need this? Nowadays, I would say that it's a 50-50 thing, because a lot of people's lives are in here. However, How about when you don't have service? Can you be without communication? Well, it depends. Again, if you are in a group and you hunting, for example, I like having radios. Communication is key. That way we can communicate. Hey, I'm right here. Where are you? Because you don't want to shoot your gun and then somebody in there that you don't see, and then instead of a moose or a bear, now you have a significant other who is injured. You see what I'm saying? So communication, again, it all depends what you're doing. Communication. How about the inReach? I don't know how many times I have recommended having one of these. This is a satellite two-way communication device. Before I started doing the video, I put the calculator and I was like, you know what? I need to let people know how much we pay a year for this. So, a year, we pay $39.95 for this feature right here. That's the SOS. That is one time a year. That covers up to $100,000 in rescue. A month, and I took it out. I wanna. In a month, we pay $14.99. It's a subscription. We pay yearly. You can actually lower that to essentially $7.99 if you want to. You're gonna have to pay a little bit more for the text message and whatnot, because you can text message with this. This one actually has the maps. You can get something cheaper, not just this one. You can get something cheaper and just text message and communication. This one again has maps, and for me here in Alaska, this make more sense than the other one. It's a little bit more expensive. The device itself is a little more expensive. But the one that we have, we can text message and whatnot. I have, I can preload messages. I can actually sync it with my phone. So there's an app in here, and I don't need service for that. I can just link them together, and I can text Mrs. D. And again, the maps, I can see it and whatnot. But a year, we pay $219.83. When we first got it, we did pay an activation fee of $39.99. That was years ago when we got here. Did I need it? Or did I want it? Considering the fact that we moved to Alaska, we didn't know anybody in Alaska. Lash was little at the time, and Alaska is a very dangerous place to live. I think that we need it. You know, just for safety purposes. Do I recommend this to people? I think if you're serious about preparedness, and if you're serious about communication, because this can be taken down. This, you have now the ability to communicate with your loved ones via satellite. And the battery lasts forever. Forever. I'm telling you all, it really lasts a long time. I think this will be a great investment. You don't need to get this one per se. There are others cheaper than this one. This one is the Explorer Plus, and it comes with preloaded maps and whatnot. So it serves two purposes. So was this a need or a want? I think it was a need. Plus, it makes D really happy being able to talk to me when I'm out of service. A lot of times when it's just me and Lass, she's like, you know, I don't want to bother you guys, but at least text me when you get there, and text me before you go to bed or whatever, so I know that you guys are fine. You know, just, it's not a control thing. It's just, you know, letting each other know that we are okay. You get what I'm saying? There's no phone calls. I can get a satellite phone, but it's going to be more expensive than this. So you see, communication, a need or a want, 50-50. I lean more into the, I think it's a need, especially for us in our location. Now, how about mobility? Mobility is something that we all take for granted nowadays. In Cuba, we either walk or we rode a bicycle. A lot of times, we cover a lot of kilometers. It's in kilometers in Cuba. A lot. A lot of times we spend easy 2 to 3 hours on a bike one way to do something in the same amount of time backwards. So, because you can cover more distance on a bicycle than on foot. Imagine here that you want to bug out. What are your plans? Or you want to move from point A to point B. What are your plans? Do you plan to do it on foot? Because if you do, that limits the amount of weight that you can carry on you, and that limits, how far you can go. A bicycle gives you more chances. So is a bicycle something that you want or do you need? Okay. Bicycle is human power. Okay? Human power. If you step up and you get a motorcycle, now we're talking. Especially if you get a little sidecar, you can increase the amount of weight that you can carry, the speed, but it's not human power. Now you need gas. Okay. Keep that in mind. But it's going to take you from point A to point B a lot faster. Way faster. So is that something that you want or do you need? A car, same thing. ATVs here for us when we go hunting and whatnot. Do I rather shoulder a moose? Or do I rather have an ATV that I can put that meat in? You see, again, location will dictate the things that you really need and the things that you want. If you live in a city, there's no need for you to have an ATV unless you want to have fun, right? I think living in a city, a bicycle would do you great. Walking would do you good too. An electric bicycle may even be better. But it's something that you need or that you want. Can you do the same thing with a regular bicycle? You see, I'm trying to give you guys ideas and, put myself there in front of you so you guys see what I do. So I think I made this video long enough in regards to that. When it comes to wants and needs of prepping, it quite frankly depends on where you are, your age, your necessities, your environment, because everybody is different. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. If it does, if you don't mind, please make sure that you hit that notification bell. A lot of people are not getting the notification. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. And like always, rock on, prep on, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye, everybody. If you'd like to support the channel, check out the links in the pinned comment below. Consider joining our Frontier Prepper Squad or let an adder to you run. It really does make a difference. And always remember, those who prepare today will not struggle tomorrow.